Congratulations on your purchase of the Tippmann Boss Hand Stitcher. First, remove all the accessories and packaging material. Then, remove the boss by grabbing firmly under the throat of the machine. Included with the machine is a manual, instructional DVD, toolkit, thread guide, thread stand, and hardware. Within the toolkit, you'll find a 4-piece Allen wrench set, bobbin winder, thread nipper, and an extra bobbin, an extra needle set screw, and 10 needles, including a 7x3 round point, 160, 180, and 200, and a 794 chisel point, 200 and 250. Before working on the machine, securely fasten to a solid workbench by clamp or nuts and bolts of suitable length. After you have securely fastened your new Tippmann Boss to a workbench, remove the AR-73 bolt . Then, be sure to start the bolt back into the hand stitcher handle lock nut by hand tightening to avoid cross-threading. Once the bolt has been threaded properly, tighten with the 3/16 Allen wrench provided and securely attach the stitching handle. To assemble the thread stand, step 1. Take the 3/16 bolt, put it through the center of the stand plate. Thread the 3/16 bolt into the post. Step 2. The 5/32 bolt will pass through the short arm of the thread guide and the tab of the stand plate. Step 3. Start the bolt by hand into the frame of the boss and then tighten with the 5/32 Allen wrench. Place the thread onto the stand and feed through the guide so the thread unwinds upward through the loop. Feed the thread through the back side of the top hole of the guide post and back through the bottom hole. Staying on the front side of the 1/8 roll pin, loop the thread around to the secondary tension post counterclockwise. Then loop the thread clockwise around the primary tension roller. Pass the thread through guidepost number 3. Then pass the thread through the take-up lever. You may want to pull extra thread through as needed. Then feed the thread through the final thread guide. Pass the thread through the needle foot and lift the needle foot out of the way. Then you can pass the thread left to right through the eye of the needle. To get the bobbin thread through the insert plate, hold the needle thread loosely in the middle of the presser foot and cycle the machine, moving the stitching handle all the way up and all the way down. Setting the tension. To set the tension properly on your hand stitcher, step 1. Start with the secondary tension nut and back it off until it is no longer touching the spring. Step 2. Tighten the nut until it is at the top of the spring. Step 3. Tighten the nut 2 1/4 turns. This gives you the proper starting point for most leather products. Setting the primary tension. Step 1. Back the nut off until it is no longer touching the spring. Step 2. Tighten the nut until it touches the spring. Step 3. Do 2 full turns of the primary tension nut. Be sure to move the handle all the way down and all the way up. The top of the rack gear will touch a plastic washer. Pressure foot tension adjustment. Turn the bolt on the top left of the machine to relieve pressure. Turn the bolt counterclockwise. To apply pressure, tighten clockwise. Stitch length adjustment. Clockwise makes the stitch longer. Counterclockwise equals a shorter stitch. To start stitching, it is important to plan your back stitch. A good rule of thumb is to start your stitch an inch or so away from the edge. Then stitch towards the edge. Then lift the presser foot and rotate the leather 180 degrees and start your stitch back. To wind the bobbin, you will need a drill, the bobbin winder from your accessory pack, and thread. Be sure to use the same size thread on the bobbin as you used through the top of the boss. Pass the thread through the slot and pinch it on the back side of the bobbin. Wind as evenly as possible, as this will affect the consistency of your locking stitch tension. When fully wound, there will be about approximately 9 yards of thread on your bobbin. When you are low or out of thread, release the bobbin and pull the bobbin out and slide the thread through the pinch point. When placing the bobbin back into the shuttle, be sure the bobbin is unraveling off to the left side of the spool. Your bobbin shuttle will need lubricated from time to time. A couple drops of non-staining lubricant will work fine. After placing lubricant inside the housing, cycle the machine a few times to work it into the whole rotation. change the needle, bring your stitching handle down until you can see the Allen set screw. Loosen the set screw a few turns and pull the needle down. Lift the needle foot and pass the needle through it, and place it into the needle bar. Also, make sure the scarf of the needle is facing the throat of the machine. Before tightening the new needle into place, make sure the needle is all the way up and seated fully. Then tighten the needle securely. Now you are ready to make leather goods quickly without compromising durability. For over 25 years, the Boss has been stitching saddles, scabbards, sheaths, holsters, tack, and so much more. To find accessories for your Tippmann Boss, visit us on the web at tippmannindustrial.com, or you can call us at 866-286-8046.